Elder abuse for money and clout. Let's go. At this point, I might as well subscribe, right? Elder abuse for money and clout by WestJet. This was one of the most pathetic boxing matches that I've ever seen. The pre-rounds before that, with the women, were by leagues better. By leagues. This was pathetic. Also, Netflix showed Mike Tyson's ass. It's really weird. This entire thing is really weird. I'm just feel really sorry for the people that paid for this fight and just for this fight and not the pre-rounds. Let's just get into this.
Jake Paul fought Mike Tyson, a guy who's been alive since the Vietnam War and won. This fight should have never even happened, but luckily Jake was very respectful, unlike his moron brother.
That's a usual thing with Logan.
I think he said you might be next. Motherfucker, I'll kill you, Mike. Motherfucker, I'll kill you, Mike.
Loki, this is just disrespectful to a legend, and when Andrew Tate has a better moral compass than you, you know you're cooked.
Would you fight Mike Tyson? Again, no. It would be an absolutely tragic shame to knock out an old version of his prime self. That doesn't feel fair.
If you're Jake Paul, you're...
It's also insane that a 20-year-old man cannot knock out a 50-year-old man. Like, it's actually insane that you can, like... Weird. So weird.
Already mega rich. How much more money do you need? I feel like this isn't good for your career. Nobody's gonna take you seriously as a boxer if you keep fighting old men. Like, what are you gonna do? Dig up Muhammad Ali next?
Would have beaten me, so to beat him...
Dig up Muhammad Ali next. That's crazy. That is crazy. Some people investigate if Logan faked his Japan suicide video or not. Well, could be. Could be. I don't think so, though. I don't think so.
When he's past his prime just feels dishonorable, and I'd feel dirty for doing that. There's no amount of money on the planet that could convince me to fight Mike Tyson.
And this is coming from a dude who's promoting a crypto coin named Daddy, and not even he would do the fight, so like, you know.
Baba Booey.
No intro today. Jake Paul beat a black man. Luckily, I'm not the only one who feels this way, and a lot of people think this is sort of fucked up. He's literally fighting a dude who's witnessed Gaddafi, like, first come to power. Jake Paul after beating yet another senior citizen. Just like 6ix9ine celebrating, bruh. Jake Paul defeats Mike Tyson. The Mike Tyson in question.
It is so true, though. It is so true. That's the funny part. It is true. This fight should have never happened. This fight should have never even been an idea. At least we got to see Mike Tyson's ass.
Would you look at that, folks? Lightning Larry Luciano, a living legend.
Jake Paul should fight Joe Biden next. For liberty, for God, today. Dude's fighting a 58-year-old man. You know you're cooked when even the Straw Hat Pirates are ratioing you. Breaking. Jake Paul has challenged Jimmy Carter, age 100, to a boxing match after beating Mike Tyson, age 58. And I want to make something abundantly clear. Nobody's trashing Mike Tyson here. The dude is indisputably one of the best boxers of all time. But age is a real thing, as much as Chris Tyson disagrees or not.
The DD4s. Chris Tyson is in there as well.
Mike Tyson was projected to make around 20 million for the fight, and Jake Paul was expected to make even more at 40 million. That is a hefty chunk of cash. This doesn't really sit right with me, and I personally think Jake Paul looks worse. Mike Tyson, he's just cashing in a bag. While editing this video, I found out this wasn't an exhibition match, and it's actually going as a loss on Mike's record, which I think is wild. Mike Tyson's long retired, and Jake's fighting a dude whose last professional fight was in 2005. The guy was spotted in a wheelchair in Miami airport with health concerns not even 6 months ago.
Like I said, this fight should have never happened from the get-go. It should have never happened. But here we are. There it is.
Dude is 58. Give him a break. Let him retire in peace. One thing I do want to say, though, is Jake has definitely improved in the last 4 years as a boxer. His training wasn't for nothing, and I know for a fact that he himself wants to be taken seriously in the sport, but why does he keep choosing such weird fights? He beat a middle-aged Olympic wrestler, a middle-aged, like, former UFC fighter, and then he beat up a basketball player. This one might have just been racially motivated, but I digress.
It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
No.
He's trying to get our ring.
He flopped him like a Fortnite fish, bro. And genuinely, I don't know if
What is that comparison? Flopped another Fortnite fish. What the heck was that comparison? But true. True. This is interesting.
if it clicked in Jake Paul's head yet that he beat Mike Tyson, who was 58, because now he's calling out Conor McGregor. But let's run it in MMA, no weight class, just how it used to be done, but you won't. Like, I don't know if Jake's having delusions of grandeur or thinks Conor McGregor is washed because Conor McGregor's too busy coking out and having the time of his life partying, but like, you're a boxer and MMA is a completely different beast. You'd get your ass kicked. Literally. I'm not the biggest Jake Paul hater, and you know, I gotta give him some credit to go into the ring with Mike Tyson. Like, albeit, he is 58, but it's still Mike Tyson. Like, I'd be scared. And I understand money is a big...
Jake is now trying to fight Conor. Conor isn't even in bad shape. No, he isn't. Jake is gonna get folded. Especially since Jake is a boxer. Conor is MMA, so like... Huh? I mean, I know people that have drank a little at like 6 or 10. Child abuse.
Factor in this fight, but I think personally this is a bad look for boxing. It felt like a Rocky Balboa recreation, but worse. And it's low-key corny how they tried to make it serious to kind of play it up. My brother got slapped by Mike Tyson, fucking iconic, but a grave error. This fight just became personal for Jake. Looks really personal, so personal they're probably holding each other's hands when they're going into the bank to cash the check. Like, then again, if Mike Tyson slapped me like that, I'd probably get an erection. They don't call him Iron Mike Tyson for nothing.
It's a war. Let me left the fuck alone. You gotta really believe that.
I believe you only said that for the money and promotion because this is a guy who was on the Disney Channel and like Mike Tyson was a cold-blooded...
Bro was actually on the Disney Channel? That's interesting. Jack Doherty reminds me of Golden Days. Problem child Jake Paul. Okay. Dealer can beat Paul. I cannot beat him physically, but I can put some arrows into his body, I guess. KSI would beat Jake Paul. That's why he lost in Tommy Fury fight. Honestly, Jake Paul versus KSI would be the greatest clown fight ever. I feel like.
Killer. He bit a dude's ear off. He went to jail. But we don't talk about that one.
Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson is everything wrong with society. This is a fight that once again pushes the message that clout, money, and influence is valued above everything else in our society.
Jake has nothing to win here. 1, he wins. Congrats, you beat a 60-year-old. 2, he loses. You lost against a 60-year-old. 3, it's a tie. You couldn't even beat a 60-year-old. I think this comment is missing one thing though. He gains $40 million.
Boxing is meant to be a test of strength and durability, a display of discipline and dedication. Jake Paul and just influencer culture in general has turned this into a spectacle.
I mean, 100%. Nobody takes this influencer boxing seriously. It's like a completely separate thing from the boxing sport, in my opinion. Like, Jake Paul fought a real boxer, lost, and now he's...
Interesting. So he at least fought a real boxer. At least that. At least that. Hey, at least that.
He's sort of fighting old people whose reputation precedes them.
Were you dealing with an injury going into the fight?
Yeah, but I can't use that for an excuse, because if I did, I wouldn't be in here.
Like, at this point, this is genuinely elder abuse. He was also injured, and even he himself isn't using it as an excuse. Like, bro.
That was a good slap. I like that.
All of his opponents seem to be older, retired fighters in financially difficult spots.
Regardless of who you're fighting, I would never criticize anybody for having the...
Maybe bro is actually charity. He takes the old boxers because the old boxers are in financially difficult situation. He is literally charity. Why not?
Balls to step into the ring. But if Jake Paul wants to be known as a legend and become one of the best boxers, he needs to start picking better fights. Jake Paul looking like an Eastern European human trafficker killed in the first 10 minutes of a Jason Statham movie. Like, that's genuinely wild. This Indian man has been found in a cave. It's alleged he's 188 years old. Jake Paul's next opponent. And before a bunch of Jake Paul meat riders hop in and be like, you were all cheering for Mike Tyson, yada yada. Well, obviously, everyone's cheering for the 58-year-old underdog who was born in 1966. And personally, I feel like the whole Jake Paul fight appeal is sort of falling off because in the beginning, Jake Paul was sort of a nuisance, annoying, and everybody wanted to see him getting knocked out. Now, at this point, I genuinely don't think people even remember why Jake Paul was so annoying in the first place. Unlike Logan, Jake Paul actually has a decent reputation overall, but I still find it crazy that Netflix themselves even approved of this. Like,
yeah, when we look at like comparison, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, Jake Paul seems to be at least the more mature one. Especially when we look at like his track record for controversies.
Like, Mike Tyson is essentially a senior citizen. In boxing, I think 38 or 40 is considered old. Like, you're fighting a dude practically the same age as your dad. KSI was in the thick of it, then even he himself said, what a sad watch. The whole thing was sad. Mike Tyson is twice the age of Jake. FFS. It was never even gonna be close. I can't believe that this elderly abuse was even sanctioned. Just disgusting. Like, Mike Tyson genuinely threw a third of the punches, landed even less of them, and he was more tired than Jake at the end. I can't really play footage due to copyright reasons, but it was genuinely a sad fight to watch. At this point, you gotta fight him, KSI. You gotta go from the screen to the ring to the pen to the kick.
No matter what happens in this fight, Jake Paul won't emerge as a hero, and he knows that. It's just part of the persona. If he actually does beat Mike Tyson, he might become the face of boxing for a little bit. But he's also the guy who beat up an old man for that title to get more views and clout.
While this video was made before the fight, I disagree. Jake did win, and he's definitely not a hero to boxing. I think the idea of going into the ring with Mike Tyson actually carries more weight than doing it with a 58-year-old version of himself. I hate using the word clout, but that's exactly what these fights are done for. They're literally manufactured, which is why Jake would rather fight a popular basketball player than like an unknown fighter. You never see him fighting somebody who's
the unknown fighter shows Biden. True.
quote-unquote relevant. If his goal's to be a serious boxer, then he's definitely not doing it right. But if his goal's to make a lot of money, then hey, I can't hate on the guy. He's definitely doing it right. And like, genuinely, the fight was boring. The only good thing about the fight was just Mike Tyson's ass, like the memes of his butt.
True. The butt. That was all we got. The butt.
The bro was genuinely double-cheeked up on a Thursday afternoon. While I respect Jake for stepping into the ring, training for boxing, and being consistent on his regiment, I can never respect the people he chooses to fight. If Jake Paul was broke and desperately needed the money and he was truly in the thick of it, then I'd understand his decision to fight Mike Tyson. But truly, he's already loaded, so why?
Maybe he knows English but can't write. Do you mean like you? Like you? Poor Mike. Yeah, this was just, I don't know.
I, however, am not loaded, so please subscribe to my channel.
Yeah, subscribe to the channel. I'm loaded. Yeah. There's not much to say here except that this fight should have never happened. This fight should have genuinely never happened, but it did, and it was a pathetic fight.